All right, guys, welcome into the Dynasty Warzone Table Talk with MattyBigChest. Today, I have some quarter mark positional rankings for you guys off of a mock draft that we ran through our Patreon league. There are some surprising results. I wanted to go over them and highlight my buys and sells. Um, I think that it's a very interesting thing to do. Every quarter mark, you should run a mock draft and see where your startup values are. Um, I think that it helps establish trade value for guys. I think it helps establish where they're at. Like Antonio Gibson down here is the RB11. That's kind of nuts to me, but I'm a huge Gibson fan, so I kind of support it. He went ahead of Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon. So there's some guys here that I'm going to talk about that I would buy and sell based on this list that we made. So just going over the quarterback list, I thought Josh Allen might go a little earlier than Joe Burrow. Um, I might have taken Josh Allen around the third pick or fourth pick. I think he has shown that he's got the rushing floor as well as a great live arm, and he has a lot of talent. So I really like Josh Allen and what he's doing in Buffalo. So I would be putting him a little higher than Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow. Um, a name that surprised me that fell quite far was Justin Herbert at QB9. I thought he would go higher around QB7, but looking at the names here now, I see Dak Russell and Deshaun. I might put Justin Herbert at 9 and take him in the second round, though. Like, if you're in a QB heavy league, you should be taking quarterback. So I would be targeting Justin Herbert. He's the same as Joe Burrow, essentially, and he's playing out of his mind. He's got some Konami code in him. Who knows? Um, Daniel Jones would be a sell for me. I'd try to sell him for Aaron Rodgers if you could. I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers on my team for 3 to 4 years than Daniel Jones, who's going to be out of the league in 3 to 4 years. Um, and then I have Baker Mayfield as a sell. Actually, I think Baker Mayfield is a sell. I'd sell him for a 2021 first straight up. He's in a play action offense. He's similar to Kirk Cousins now, um, who is a buy in my opinion that low. I'd be buying Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr in the quarterback room. I think that they have a lot of potential, and I like where they're at in their career to buy them right now for cheap. Um, couldn't hurt to go after Drew Brees or Drew Lock as well. They're two guys that you could get for cheap right now. Drew Lock doesn't look too bad, but who knows what his future is with injury. Um, should be back though this season and playing. So if you want a quarterback for cheap, Drew Lock is a good guy to aim QB 21 on our in our mock draft. Tom Brady was a QB 20 in our mock draft. That is a little low for someone like Tom Brady. Um, I think Tom Brady's extremely talented still at his age, and he might have forgot it was fourth down, but he had under 200 passing yards against a pretty solid defense in the Chicago Bears. They did the right thing and they pressured him from the interior, and he does not do well with interior pressure because he's not mobile. So Tom Brady's a name to watch for. He could buy low right now after that game, especially. Let's move on to running backs. Running back surprised me. I thought Christian McCaffrey would go number one, but it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He went third overall. Um, that's a little rich for me. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire a lot, but not RB1. Jonathan Taylor was the RB3, which surprised me as well. I thought Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey would be RB1, RB2, with Zeke as RB3, but that didn't pan out. And look at Zeke's RB5, Saquon's RB6, Josh Jacobs is RB7. I'd be buying Josh Jacobs in startups at RB7 value. I'd be taking him at the back end of the first. DeAndre Swift at RB9 was intriguing to me. He has a future in Detroit, but who knows really what it is with their head coaching situation. They need to change a coach out, and I think that DeAndre Swift will see more touches. He is a master at the angle route, the Texas play. He is a great talent at running back. He looks like Alvin Kamara out there to me. Not saying he is Alvin Kamara. He just reminds me of him when he's going out for passes. So I like that a lot for his value, but it's a little early for me. A little early. Next up is Antonio Gibson at the RB11. That's a little rich for me as a Gibson owner, even. I would have rather had Miles Sanders or Joe Mixon or Derrick Henry, even Aaron Jones. Um, Aaron Jones is so low on this list, RB16. He's an RB1 this year. He's going to sign an extension. He's going to be way higher on this list come once he signs his extension. He'll be higher than Miles Sanders in my eyes. Austin Eckler, he got hurt. We'll see what happens with him. Chris Carson RB18 was surprising to me. That was a little rich. Kareem Hunt RB19. He's a sell or a buy for me depending on what you need. James Robinson RB21. Zach Moss RB22 is gross. I hate Zach Moss in fantasy football. He could be a good football player, but he's not good in fantasy football. He's attached to a running quarterback, Josh Allen, who's going to steal his touchdowns away anyway, so why would I want to get him? Devin Singletary is a buy for me at the RB23. I think he's an RB2 consistently. Cam Akers is a sell for me at the RB24. I'd be selling him for a first if you can. Just to reset, because you probably used the first on him, so get a first for next year and try again. Kenyon Drake, gross. AJ Dillon at RB28 is a joke. David Montgomery at the RB31 is a buy. He is talented. He has the receiving chops. He just needs a quarterback. I would be buying David Montgomery. He is not expensive. Joshua Kelly as well, the RB29 is good value, I think. So that does it for the RB list, the running backs. Ronald Jones, running back 32, pretty low for him as well. Wide receiver went crazy. CeeDee Lamb was our wide receiver one taken. He was taken at the back end with a Dak Prescott stack, so he wanted the CD and Dak stack. And then we have Michael Thomas, number 2. That's not surprising. Devontae Adams, number 3. Not surprising. DK Metcalf, number 4. That's good value. Justin Jefferson, number 5. That is a little surprising. Rookie going number 5 overall for wide receivers. He didn't go in the first round. He went, I believe, in the second or third round. Tyreek Hill below him. I might have went Tyreek Hill before Justin Jefferson. DeAndre Hopkins as well before Justin Jefferson. I might have taken Calvin Ridley before Justin Jefferson, but I wouldn't have taken him before Jerry Jeudy or DJ Moore. So I would have put Justin Jefferson around 8 or 9. I really like DJ Moore's spot at the wide receiver 10. I think he's a top buy right now. You can get him for a lot cheaper than you could in the offseason. I think he's a good receiver. We're just not seeing the passes his way yet. And he should have a good second half of his season. T. Higgins at the wide receiver 11. That's a little rich for me as well. I would have rather had Terry McLaurin or A.J. Brown or Kenny Galladay. But someone believes in T. Higgins, and someone drafted him at the wide receiver 11. Wide receiver 12, Terry McLaurin. That's basically where he is. I think he's a back-end wide receiver 1. But he's going to be consistent for his career. It's just who's going to be throwing him the ball. Chris Godwin, wide receiver 13. He's been injured a lot. Don't know what to say about him. Michael Pittman Jr. at the wide receiver 15. I think this was an auto draft pick, to be honest. That's rich for me. I would have rather had Juju. I would rather have all these names down here than Michael Pittman Jr. Speaking about that, Cooper Kupp at the wide receiver 20 is good value for wide receiver back end 1, high end wide receiver 2. Henry Ruggs is a little rich for me at the wide receiver 21. He's been hurt. Kenny Galladay is a great wide receiver 16. I think he's a wide receiver 1, so getting him at the wide receiver 16 is great value in a startup. Let's look. Mike Evans at the wide receiver 22. He catches touchdowns, so in a half-point PPR league, that is valuable. I like him a lot. I think that you could probably get him for quite a bit cheaper than he used to be. He's still pretty young for a wide receiver, so he's got years left. And then we got Allen Robinson, who's also in the same situation as Mike Evans and Kenny Galladay. I think that they're good values right here. DJ Chark at the wide receiver 24. This is a joke. DJ Chark is a wide receiver 1 in my eyes. I would have him around Terry McLaurin's value. Can't believe he fell this low. Cortland Sutton with a knee injury at wide receiver 25. He would have went a lot earlier if he's healthy and playing. Stephon Diggs at the wide receiver 27. Stephon Diggs has been showing out this year in Buffalo. I think this is good value for him. I think you could buy him now. Depends how much you have to pay for him, but I like Stephon Diggs at this value. Same with Robert Woods and Keenan Allen right here. These 3 wide receivers are good value. Marquise Brown at the wide receiver 30 is good value as well. He is a speedster attached to Lamar Jackson, one of the fastest offenses in the NFL. I like Marquise Brown. It's just when is Lamar Jackson going to develop those deep shots outside of the hash? He needs to hit Marquise Brown on those because I mean Marquise Brown had a long gain that was taken down at the 1 yard line. He would have had a touchdown. So I mean last week he didn't have as many points because of that. Debo Samuel at the wide receiver 31. I don't like that. Jalen Rager at the wide receiver 32. I don't like that. I like Tyler Boyd at the wide receiver 33. That is great value for a wide receiver two consistently attached to Joe Burrow's hip. Um, could have a wide receiver one back end season, like be a wide receiver 12 on the year. Um, I like Deontay Johnson at the wide receiver 34. This is good value for a guy who will be getting 11 targets a game or 10 targets a game, whatever it is. Chenault at wide receiver 35. He's a developmental piece. That's good. He's attached to Gardner Minshew. I like that. Brandon Ayuk at the wide receiver 36 is great value. This guy's so athletic. He's going to get screen passes. He's basically a running back playing the wide receiver position. Go buy yourself some Brandon Ayuk right now before he gets super expensive. Michael Gallup at the wide receiver 37. I mean, if you need a wide receiver three who's not going to produce, then get Michael Gallup. I don't really like it there. Julio Jones at the wide receiver 38. This is crazy. He's older, but he's still Julio Jones. He's going to be getting those. He's going to be drawing double coverage from safeties and everything. He's getting his targets as well once he's healthy. But when is he ever healthy? So if you need a contending piece, maybe Julio Jones, but I would look at probably Tyler Boyd first or Brandon Ayuk. Then Darius Slayton, Adam Thielen, and Denzel Mims rounds out the list. They're all decent pieces. Adam Thielen is a great piece to own in the wide receiver 40. Who knows how long he has left, though. So buy yourself some Adam Thielen as well. Let's go to the tight end position. We have George Kittle, Mark Andrews, and Travis Kelsey. So Travis Kelsey right now is a third um, tight end to own in Dynasty. I don't agree with that. I would have him higher than Mark Andrews on this list. TJ Hawkinson's tight end four. I like that. Darren Waller is tight end five. I have him as a sell. Who knows how long he has left on Oakland? Foster Moreau has been continuing to develop and show out. He's a touchdown machine. Noah Fant, tight end six. You might want to buy him now. Owner might be looking to sell if he has an injury that's long lasting. And then Zach Ertz at tight end seven. Zach Ertz used to be the tight end four. Zach Ertz could be a good buy right now as well. Johnny Smith and Mike Gesicki are buys for me. I think they could just pole vault up and take over the wide receiver, the tight end four, tight end five spot if they continue to show. Mike Gesicki is a freak athlete with nice hands. Can make any catch you throw at him. Johnny Smith is just a bowling ball at tight end, and he's going to bowling ball himself into the end zone a couple times each game. It's very nice to own Johnny Smith this year, except for the COVID test. So get healthy, Johnny. Tyler Higbee at the tight end 10. Tyler Higbee was going around tight end 6, I believe, in startups. So this is surprising that he fell this low. People aren't really high on him this year for some reason, even though he's going to continue to produce. Cole Kmet, that was an auto draft pick, I believe, by one of the teams. So I just crossed his name off. I don't think he's here. Hunter Henry, let's put him at the tight end 11, and Hayden Hurst at the tight end 12. So let's delete him. I like Hunter Henry at the tight end 12. He's attached to who is Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert's going to use the tight ends quite a bit. If Mike Williams is out as well, which he continues to be out with injuries, Hunter Henry could be a good buy. I like Hunter Henry a lot. He's a decent athlete. It's just how many injuries is he gonna sustain through his career. Hayden Hurst, I don't really like Hayden Hurst, but he could be a buy it if you need a tight end. I quite like buying cheap tight ends. So that is my breakdown of our list. If you want more information on it, just hit me up on Twitter at MattyBigChest. There's some surprises on here like Clyde, CD being rookies and going as their prospective wide receiver one and running back one. I would have taken Alvin Kamara at the RB1 or Christian McCaffrey at the RB1, like I said. So there's some surprises on here. Antonio Gibson's a surprise. Kareem Hunt is a surprise for going so low. I would have taken Kareem Hunt over Austin Eckler and Chris Carson. I would have taken Kareem Hunt a lot earlier than he did. So he's still a sell for me based on his value if you're rebuilding. He's a buy if you're a contender. I really like how this turned out. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to do this at the halfway mark as well. I think that there's some good values here and that you can take away some good things here for trading. And you should run your own mock drafts with your friends. This is something that you can do to establish your own values and positional values and your own trade values. So I hope you guys took something from this and have a good day. Enjoy college football and NFL tomorrow.